Daniel, you know what I love most about living in Japan? People don't complain. Like, ever. I remember my first week here. The train was delayed 15 minutes, and everyone just waited quietly. Back in London, there'd be a riot. Alice, wait, seriously? No one was moaning about being late for work. That's mental, but surely they must get frustrated. Daniel, oh, they do. But here's the thing. Complaining is seen as putting your burden on others. There's this concept called gammon, enduring the seemingly unbearable with patience. It's not about bottling up emotions. It's about not making your problems everyone else's problems. Alice, that actually sounds quite liberating. No drama, no venting sessions that go nowhere. Daniel, exactly. And you know what happens when you stop complaining. You start solving. I've watched Japanese colleagues face massive setbacks, and their first instinct isn't to vent, it's to ask, what can we do about this? It's honestly changed how I handle problems.
Alice, okay, but what about that whole Kaizen thing? I keep hearing about it, but don't really get it. Daniel, right. So Kaizen literally means good change, but it's not about massive transformations. It's about tiny, consistent improvements. I learned this from my Japanese neighbor who improved his English by learning just one new word every day for 3 years. Not 10 words, not a whole conversation, just one word. Alice, that sounds almost too simple to work though. Daniel, that's the beauty of it. Western culture loves the big dramatic change. Lose 20 pounds in 30 days, transform your life overnight. But Kaizen is like compound interest for personal growth. My company here implements Kaizen in everything. Instead of major overhauls that stress everyone out, we make tiny adjustments constantly. Alice, so no more New Year, New Me resolutions that die by February? Daniel, exactly. It's new day, slightly better me. And because the changes are so small, they actually stick. I've been doing this for 4 years now, and the cumulative effect is incredible. Plus, there's no pressure, no guilt when you slip up.
Alice, but hold on, isn't Japan famous for overworking? All those horror stories about people working themselves to death? Daniel, that's the stereotype. But here's what's fascinating. Yes, they work intensely, but they also rest intensely. When Japanese people take a break, they properly disconnect. No checking emails, no quick calls. There's this beautiful concept called forest bathing, Shinrin-yoku, where people literally just exist in nature to recharge. Alice, forest bathing? That sounds wonderfully hippie. Daniel, it's actually scientifically backed. But more importantly, it shows how seriously they take recovery. In the West, we glorify being busy. Here, there's equal respect for productive work and proper rest. My Japanese colleagues will work flat out for a project, then completely switch off for Golden Week. Alice, so it's not about work-life balance, it's about work-life intensity. Daniel, brilliant way to put it. When they work, they're 100% present. When they rest, they're 100% present. No half measures, no guilt about either. I used to feel guilty taking proper lunch breaks. Now I see it as essential maintenance, not laziness.
Alice, what about this whole group harmony thing? Doesn't it stifle individuality? Daniel, that's what I thought initially, but harmony, isn't about conformity. It's about considering how your actions affect others. Like in British culture, we value speaking your mind, right? Here, they value thinking before speaking. Alice, okay, but surely that leads to people not expressing their real opinions. Daniel, sometimes, yes. But here's what surprised me. When Japanese people do speak up, they've usually thought it through properly. Less noise, more signal. And the group focus means amazing things happen. During natural disasters, you see this incredible coordination without any central authority. Alice, I've seen those videos of people queuing perfectly during earthquakes. That's wild. Daniel, right. But it's not just crisis situations. Simple things like everyone keeping their train conversations quiet because they know 200 other people don't want to hear about your weekend plans. It's consideration elevated to an art form. Alice. So it's less about losing yourself and more about being aware of yourself in relation to others. Daniel. Exactly. And honestly, it's quite freeing. When everyone's looking out for everyone else, you worry less about yourself.
Daniel, but here's the culture gap that really got me. The Japanese ability to find profound joy in ordinary moments. There's this concept called mono no aware, the bittersweetness of things. It's about appreciating beauty precisely because it's fleeting. Alice, that sounds quite melancholy though. Daniel, not melancholy, mindful. Like, cherry blossom season here isn't just about pretty flowers. It's about gathering with friends and family to celebrate something that lasts maybe 2 weeks. The temporary nature makes it more precious, not less. Alice, so it's like the opposite of taking things for granted. Daniel, precisely. I remember my first Hanami party. Everyone was so present, so grateful for that exact moment. No one was rushing to the next thing or complaining about the weather. They were just there. It completely changed how I experience ordinary pleasures. Alice, like actually tasting your coffee instead of just drinking it. Daniel, perfect example. Or watching the sunset without photographing it. It's about experiencing life directly, rather than constantly thinking about the next experience. Western culture teaches us to always want more. Japanese culture taught me that enough can be abundant.
Alice. So what's the biggest takeaway here? What can people watching this actually apply to their own lives? Daniel. It's not about becoming Japanese. It's about questioning our cultural assumptions. We assume complaining is healthy expression, that bigger changes are better, that being busy equals being important. But what if we tried the opposite for just a week? Alice. Like a cultural experiment? Daniel. Exactly. Try not complaining for 3 days and see what happens. Make one tiny improvement instead of a massive life overhaul. Take proper breaks without guilt. Consider how your actions affect others. Find joy in something ordinary you usually rush past. Alice. It sounds almost too simple. Daniel. The best wisdom usually is. Japan didn't teach me exotic secrets. It taught me that the ordinary can be extraordinary if you pay attention. That contentment isn't about having the perfect life. It's about perfectly appreciating the life you have. Alice. And that happiness isn't about getting more. Daniel. It's about wanting less, which ironically makes you feel like you have more. That's the beautiful paradox of Japanese culture. By expecting less from external circumstances, you get more from internal experience.